Hi guys, so today's video will be about 3PFs, and after our previous video on how to buy items on Taobao, I think this was the next most requested video, so hopefully this helps you guys. So as an introduction, what is 3PF? 3PF is actually, it stands for third party forwarder, and what it is basically a middleman company in China whereby they have a warehouse space to store all your items from Taobao. So they help to consolidate all your shipment and send it all in one shot to your address locally. So for today's example, I'm going to use EKLink as the 3PF provider, and I'm using them because this is the 3PF that we have the most experience with. But whatever we discuss today will be applicable to every other 3PF company as well. So who is this service for, right? So it's actually for people who have many items from Taobao, people who want to or people who want to order in stuff like bulky items, right? So just for context, we used this service when we were renovating our house, and in the grand total, we actually had more than 100 plus items from Taobao, and if we were to receive the items one by one, that would have been quite a nightmare. And because a lot of them were also bulky items, if we just use the default Taobao shipment method, we have paid a lot more for the shipment over to Singapore. So this is where the 3PF service came in handy. And I think the biggest perk is actually for people who are renovating their houses, right? I think the thing that you don't want is for all the items to arrive when the house is not even ready to receive it. Like we're still doing the tiling work, the house is still doing carpentry work, still in a mess. You don't want all these items to come at that point in time. So the good thing about 3PS is they're able to store your items for about 2 to 3 months for free in the warehouse in China, and when your house is ready to receive it, then you can actually trigger that shipment to come over to Singapore. So yeah, without further ado, maybe let's go to the site and see how it works out, right? So first things first, what you need to do is to register an account with the 3PF company. So for here, EKLink, what you need to fill up is your email address, your password, confirm your password, and then here you can select your region. So I think for EKLink, they actually service a number of countries. So yeah, there's Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, Thailand, and Taiwan. So for us, we just select Singapore, and then you can fill in your mobile number. You can fill in your state here. Then enter the verification code, and actually this is actually not mobile number. Yeah, seems like a typo there. Enter the verification code and you register. Then after that is done, you should find the home page, which looks something like this here. So how do you navigate this, right? So over on the top left corner, they'll show you your account number. EK, like for mine is 8169. So I will actually take a screenshot of this whole homepage, like over here. Then I'll share it with the EKLink customer service through WeChat. So the WeChat contact, I'll share it through the video description later on. You can find it over there. Then when you send it over there, then you get a message back from customer service that acknowledges that, okay, yeah, I see your account. You can start sending items over to the warehouse. So what you see on this page is also your individual warehouse space that has been allocated to you. So this is the address that you want to copy over to the Taobao site. So from here on out, all the items that you want to ship through 3PF, you actually have to send it to this address instead of your local address straight. Okay, then how you can do that is on Taobao. Basically, this is the address that you can copy and paste. So the 收货地址. So over here you can just fill in accordingly based on what was provided in the EKLink website, and everything will be shipped properly to this address afterwards. Okay, so apart from that, on the bottom part of the page, there's also parcel status, right? So there are a few different categories over here. That's not in warehouse. So what it means is that basically you filled up the information and descriptions about the item, but it hasn't been received yet. Then there's also warehouse. So this is whereby the warehouse actually receives the item already. Yeah, straightforward. Then as you send the packages for consolidation, the status will also change and progress from consolidated to package to sent out and have been received as well. So this is how you can interpret this parcel status part. So maybe as a live demo right now on how to fill in the details, right? I can go over to the start. So maybe I go to my package. So over here, that's where you can fill in the tracking number. So maybe as an example, what I'll do is to pull out the details for an old item that I bought back during the renovation period. So tracking number over here refers to the courier tracking number. So when you go to the Taobao page for the item, you will see quite a few different numbers. So over here is the order number, 订单编号, but then that's not what you want actually. What you want is the courier tracking number, which is the 运单号 here. So copy this and then back there I'll just paste it here. So product name, this is basically a bunch of magnetic baskets, right? So I'll just put magnetic baskets. Then over here they also ask for the category of the goods, like whether it's ordinary or sensitive. So sensitive goods here refer to things like maybe batteries, electrical appliances, liquids and creams, etc. So all of that will fall under the sensitive category, but in this case it will just be ordinary. Then over here you also have to key in the actual price of the goods in renminbi, so eventually they'll be able to charge the right amount of GST as well. So here it's 199.8, so just fill that up accordingly. Then yeah, so this is the first item. So you got many more items, right? You can add the number of row items accordingly, but maybe just for the purpose of this example, I'll just keep it to that one magnetic basket item, right? So once that is done, when you click submit, then basically it will say update successfully, and then that's when it will be recorded on the site. So after this is done, then what you want to do is to you don't see it over here because the item hasn't arrived. So when it arrives, they actually include details like even the weight and the volume that it occupies. Then there's two ways to go about it actually. So one is you can update the information beforehand, and then the website here will just update the status of the items as it moves along. The other way is to actually just send the items from Taobao straight to this warehouse address first, and then they will basically have all those tracking numbers there, and then you use the tracking number to trace back to the numbers on Taobao, and then you update the information retrospectively lah. So these are two ways to go about it. So okay, maybe we fast forward and assume that all that information has been filled up already, and you're ready to actually send the items over to Singapore. So what you do is you actually highlight all the items that have been stored already, and then you click on consolidation application. So over here I'll go back to the slides because yeah, I actually don't have any items anymore to demo. So what it looks like is actually something like this. So when you click consolidation application, they will ask you to fill up your local address, so you can put it down. Yeah, make sure you fill it correctly. Then also your phone number and your recipient name. Then you can also choose the mode of transport. So in terms of mode of transport, there's 3 different types that they provide. So one is a sensitive air, then I think there's normal air as well, and then there's normal sea shipment. So as a rule of thumb, I think generally if you have many items and they're all bulky, then it's usually more cost effective to go by sea. So you can select like normal sea, and then you hit submit the package, and then the EKLink will start to consolidate all the packages. After you do that, you can also go to WeChat and let the customer service know that you've sent it for consolidation. Then what they'll do is they will reply and acknowledge that yeah, they received this consolidation. Then they will provide the shipping cost, shipment details after everything has been consolidated. So you should receive a message something like this. So from the customer service, they tell you, okay, yeah, this is your username, right? Then yeah, basically all the items has been consolidated into like 20 individual packages, and the volume it occupies is 3.04 cbm, and the GST for that is like 897 renminbi. So in this case, yeah, they will also give you what's the total shipping cost after they consolidate everything. So how they calculate it at this point was like I think at the prices at that point was like 3.04 cbm times 550 renminbi. Then I think there was a 5% discount, so times 0.95, then plus this GST, and the total cost came up to like 2486 renminbi, which is about 500 Sing lah. So when you get this, you can actually pay in two different ways. One is either through bank transfer, or the other way is actually to place an order on the EKLink item in Taobao. So each item here will be 1 renminbi. So I just multiply it accordingly to 2486 and place the order there. So over here, if you have different credit cards and all that, I will also encourage you to use that to pay instead. So you get your perks, from like cashback or points and all that, because these are perks that you don't get through a bank transfer. So once that is done, then they will then send you a message after it's consolidated, right? That okay, over here it says that remember your C shipment, the ETA for it is as such. So yeah, all these are the shipping details, and yeah, 20 pieces of packages. Then yeah, just a reminder here that when you receive the items, please make sure that it has the EKLink like signatures and confirm the actual number of items. Then the most important thing here is your estimated time of arrival. So back then, I think I placed this order in the tail end of September. So they estimated it to arrive sometime in November 12th. Then after it arrives, within about 2 to 3 days, they will actually get contacted to ask when is a good time to send the items over. So that's how it works over there. Then after that is done, then it's just to wait and receive the items. So in our case, this is how things look. Yeah, so it wasn't just 20 packages. Like we ordered quite a lot of packages, and it literally filled up our entire common room. So it was very good for us to use the 3PF service, because if it all came one by one, would have been tough to receive. And if we used the default Taobao shipment method, it would have costed a bomb lah. Yeah, so back then, this was during our renovation phase. So this one common room was filled with all the Taobao items. Then the other common room was filled with all the appliances. So yeah, so at this point, I just want to stress again, it's so important to make sure that before you trigger the shipment, your house will be in a state where it's ready to receive the items before they arrive. Yeah, so I think in this whole process, I also want to share some best practices. So yeah, in general, it would be good to activate this shipment consolidation and send it in about 2 to 3 weeks before the date that you actually want to receive the items, and make sure that the house is ready to receive it by then, and it doesn't interfere with any other kind of renovation works like tiling, glassworks, carpentry, electricals, etc. Right? So for individual items as well, before sending it to the 3PF warehouse, what you can do is also to request for the Taobao sellers to do a few things. So for a lot of the items which are more fragile, I actually also requested them to put a wooden frame or put it in a crate, or to thicken the packaging. So yeah, I just provided some templates over here. I'll also provide it in the video description, so you can actually just copy and paste it and add that under the remark section of the item before you place the order. So yeah, this will help to ensure that as much as possible, when the items come, then they will be yeah, it will arrive in one piece and in a good state. Yeah, so I think that's it for this tutorial on how to use 3PFs, and hopefully it's been helpful for you guys. Feel free to come back to this again as and when you need, and do ask away if there are any questions. We'll try our best to answer them. And I think moving forward, we actually intend to release a series of videos documenting our whole Reno journey, and we'll get to it as and when we can find the time. So stay tuned for that.